Okay. I want to say shalom to everyone. I'm going to see if I can do this another type of way. All right. Because this phone has two different cameras. Got one that flipped to yourself and one that's on the exterior part of the phone. And the one that's on the outside of the phone is clear. All right, now, what I'm going to get into today, all praise to the Father, thank the Most High for this Shabbat that we're just coming off. A few hours ago, we've been off of it. I'm going to get into to me, it was interesting. It may not be too interesting to you all, but it'll be educational. So hopefully I can present this. This is the second time I try to do this. For some reason, the phone is cutting off at 7 minutes. Maybe it's just because I have too much other stuff on here. So I deleted some stuff, and hopefully I can get through to this information. Now, what fueled me to go into this is because a brother, a co-worker, asked me in regards to the body parts, like who came up with the names of the body parts. Why is left hand not considered the right hand? And some of the stuff I wasn't going to entertain because it's just because I guess what happens is I come off as a person that has an answer for everything, and some people just don't know that a lot of the answers that I come up with is based on scripture and based on just having building all praise to the Father, building wisdom through scripture, and you can just put puzzle pieces together. And one of the main questions was, well, who came up with the body parts, like the organs? And that was very interesting because I never did that actual research before. So I'm going to attempt to go into this, and I'm just going to hit on a few bullets in regards to this site that I found. It's called QUORA. I'm sure some of you all probably heard of it before. It's like a question and answering type. You would say blog type forum. Okay. Now, but there's some information that's very, it's on point. It's spot on. And it says, this is the title that I put in. It says, how did organs and body parts get their names? Now, we understand that the Most High created man, male and female. But the Bible doesn't go into too many, you would say, the anatomy of the body. Even though I can break down when you talk about Adam himself, what you would say in the scientific world or in the health field, that the word Adam means anatomy. Okay, that's all that means. Okay, even when you go into the word Adam and then the word Eve, she comes from Adam. Why is her name Eve? Well, first of all, and I'm gonna see if I can stay on point. The word Eve, when I first heard it, I always thought that it meant evil. But it's really not, even though what she did was evil and it has a link to it. But when you go into the word Eve, it means the mother of all living. The mother of all living on this earth. Because once she broke the covenant with the Most High and started eating the fruit, which some believe was an apple, and I can pretty much prove that it was more than likely an apple, but I'm not going to even go that route. But when you look at the word apple in the Hebrew, it'd say Bethel or Bethlehem. So that's why the Most High say, his people are the apple of his eye. But I'll go into that another time. I broke that down a long time ago in some, when I was having the classes. But based on this, Eve, so we can understand how the Bible really don't go into the actual organs and the body parts, and that's where Satan himself can get in and be like, let's go and push people away from the Bible because it ain't really teaching about the body, but it is. All right, now I'll explain to you the word Eve. You know how you have the word evening, like it's the last part of the day. It's almost to the point where you're going into the next day, because the evening and the morning is the next day. Now, the reason why her name is Eve, and this is not to, to talk bad about women, okay? Because she is the end of that spiritual anatomy, or the spiritual way we were at first. And that's the reason why he came up with that name. Everything in the Bible, and when it comes down to names, always had a meaning to it, a meaning behind it, even if it's metaphorically or esoterically. It always has a meaning behind the name. Okay, like the word Jacob or Yaquab in the Hebrew links to the word supplant, but he was a supplanter based on his mother giving him that right to do so. Now, I'm trying to stay on point on this. How did organs and body parts get their names? Okay. Now, there's some research on this, and it goes into a little bit of history. It's a lot to read, so I want to be very quick on this because I don't have that much time. And it says history of anatomical names of human body parts. All right. And then I'm going to go to the bullet. There's different bullets here. I'm going to go to bullet 3, and it says Achilles tendon. And forgive me if I'm not saying these names right. This is beyond my reading level on certain things. Achilles tendon. It says tendocalcinia, Achilles, Greek hero of the Trojan Wars, son of Peleus and Thetis. He has been the fastest in running and killed Hector, one of the famous Trojan warriors. Finally, Paris, in parentheses, it said after that, the man who snatched the Greek queen Helen, killed Achilles by poisoning his arrow, which hit his heel. The Achilles' mother, Thetis, dipped him as a newborn in the river Styx, Styx, I would say the river of the underground world, right? So that to make him invulnerable, the heel by which she held him did not wet and remained the only vulnerable spot. Then it says Achilles' heel, the weakest point. And I've always heard that term in basketball terminology when some of the you would say the sports anchors would use that term while the game is going on. It's almost like it's an Achilles heel, and I never understood what that meant really, but I knew it was something in regards to being weak. So now I understand what they're talking about. Okay. Now I just wanted to show that's one of the things, Achilles. So when you look at your ankle and your heel and all, the ankle itself, I'm sure links to something that's Greek. Like I said, this document is pretty big, but based on what we're getting into, I can pretty much prove about 80 to 90% of the names that they came up with for the body links to some type of Greek mythology. Okay. And what else do you have here? Okay, we understand about the Achilles. All right. Like I said, I've never actually done this research before, but I knew the actual word Achilles linked to it has a Greek spin off the way the linguistics, the way it sounds. Okay. Let's go to Caput or Caput, Caput, Medusa. Then it says characteristical snake, the enlarged veins on the anterior abdominal wall in case of portal hypertension. So I'm gonna tell you this, right? Sometimes when you read stuff like this, they know exactly how the body operates. The fallen angels know how the body operates. Man don't know how his own body operates. But the fallen angels that come up with a lot of this stuff, when I say fallen angels, their seed, the Nephilim, understands how you operate, how your body, how your anatomy is. Because even the word itself, anatomy, links in with the word Adam in scripture. Okay? According to the Greek mythology, Medusa, or Medusal, was one of the three sisters. Then it says Gorgons, fortunes tellers. She insulted the goddess Athena, Pallada, who made her snake-haired and gave her the devil's power to turn to stone anyone who looked at her. Okay, then we understand the Clash of the Titans and all that, how they come up with all this stuff. Now, a lot of the stuff is real. That's the thing. People don't understand that. A lot of this stuff is real. They don't just come up with stuff out of the norm. Now, they're trying to link this in with the Bible. With the body itself. Okay? And I'm going to show you what I mean here. Caput means head in Latin, or caput. It forms the root of many English words such as decapitate, captain, capital, etc. In medical terminology, when the baby's head crowns during delivery, it referred to as caput. There's also a condition called caput medusa, or medusae, or Medusa's head. This refers to the appearance of a cluster of enlarged blood vessels around the abdomen, usually radiating from the navel, that resembles the head of the mythical being, or mythical Medusa. This can happen in liver failure or condition called cirrhosis due to excessive pressure in the veins in the abdomen. Okay? So, and then it just goes on to how, they show pictures of Medusa and see, this is the thing. People don't understand that spirits attack your vessel. And it will react in your body. And I don't want to be too nasty here, but let me see if I can kind of scroll up so it don't show that part. Let me see here. Let me show you. You see that? Right here? That's what it's talking about. Liver. Even the word liver means live. You need that organ to be able to maintain your life, okay? Of course, most of us know that. Now, I want to get into just a few more bullet points here. You have the bursa, or bursae, are fluid-filled sacs that normally exist in our body at different anatomical landmarks, usually around bony joints. They form a lubricated cushion for our joints like shoulder, elbows, hips, etc. They are flat, and the fluid inside is just enough to provide gentle cushioning. If we spend a long time leaning on them, like the elbow, or kneeling down on a hard surface, they can get inflamed and very painful. If it happens in the knee, this is commonly called the homemaid's knee, or the housemaid's knee. Alright, then it says the bursa can also get inflamed with arthritis and overuse. Because I actually had that, from playing basketball. I like to fade away, and my left leg started to, my left knee started to build fluid around it. And every place where I looked, when I checked online, it was considered a bursa sac. That's what they call it. Then you have bursa in the elbows and things of that nature. Now let's just find out where this comes from, right? The name literally used to mean a wineskin. Okay, so it's like wineskins, right? Sac, or a purse in Greek. A flat pouch or wineskin that was used to carry wine may have resembled this membranous sac filled with synodal, which is a joint. Fluid must have reminded the anatomist of leather, wineskin, or pouch depicted in Greek figurines and illustrations. Okay, let me make sure this thing is still working. Okay, good. I have to check it because it'll get a timeout on me. Because I may have to do a part 2, or I can just show you this is where they get it from. Okay, and let me just show this picture. See that? Greek. This is Greek stuff. All right. It's 15 minutes. Wow. Let's see how long it'll record. The name literally used to mean wineskin, okay? If it cut off, that means it didn't let me go too much farther. So, there you have it. When it comes down to fingers and things of the nature, I really don't have any interest trying to break down fingers and how to name the organs was the one that really got me. Now, to come up with the name finger, I will have to. I may go into that, but to me, it's not too important. I mean, it could be. Like I said, I may do some research on it, but you all may be able. I may have opened it up for you all to want to go into that information. How did we get the names of the actual limbs? But the organs were extreme. It was a little interesting. Even when it talks about Adam's apple. It goes into how they believe that a piece of the apple got stuck in Adam's throat to make that lump there. That's just myth. Okay? The Bible doesn't say nothing about a piece of fruit got stuck in this man's throat. Okay? So they have to put in a bunch of stuff to make you believe. But even though the word apple doesn't really show in scripture about it, it just says fruit. But I do believe, based on the research that I've done, that it was an actual apple that Adam was eating. And like I said, I'll do a video on that. I've done it before, but if you look at the word apple, you can do this for yourself. I'll do it real quick and I'll show you. When you put in the word apple, okay, hopefully this thing is still working. Okay, apple in the Hebrew. All right. And it's going to take you to a word called bath, like bathing, bath. Then it's going to take you to the word Hebrew number 1054, Beth Tapuach. Beth Tapuach. House of apple. Beth Tapuach, a place in Palestine, which is in Jerusalem. So when you see the word Beth there, it links to Christ. The same place Christ was born is the same place Adam was born. Bethlehem today is the same place the Garden of Eden is. And it's not that place that a lot of people believe that's in Israel today. That's just a tourist attraction. Our place that things were going on in, it's pretty much desolate based on scripture. All right, so I just wanted to put that information out there. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully it loads up. I'm not sure if it will. Matter of fact, when you go to Hebrew number 380 for apple, it says, which is diminutive, which means it's diminishing, the little man of the eye, the pupil or ball, hence the middle of night, apple of the eye, black, obscure. That's how you know that it's talking about the children of Israel. That's why the Most High said, my people are the apple of my eye, which means the information about him is obscure. We're not going to understand everything about him because we fail as people. Okay, but like I said, I broke that down a while back, a long time ago in some classes. I may do a part 3 of that because I broke it down in 2 parts in a video, in a lesson. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. I'm out of here. Shalom.